The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
This is Haymaker Combat Sports. Hear it here, coming straight from the source. Only with the real, they ain't here to dress it up. Sweet science, MMA, you can get it all from us. Trust, 5 stars cause it's live. And through the fight game, we can guide ya. Slick talking, putting them in caution. Passing all the goals cause the audio is awesome. What you waiting for? Spread the word, tell a friend. This the podcast where all of the discussion ends. When they start going strike for strike, this the show that'll tell you what you seen in the fight. And they ain't playing on the mic, this a welcome to the show. Warm it up for the squad, Haymaker of the bros. I'm about wow, you can hear from the pros. It's Haymaker Combat Sports, time to roll.
Welcome to Haymaker Combat Sports, powered by Belly Up Sports Media Network. I'm your host, EJ Reed, joined by my fellow hosts, Steve Johnson, Chris Sanders. What's good, fellas?
What's going on, man? Happy Monday. Happy Monday.
What's up, Steve?
Same here, man. Starting the week after, a few week of fights, including the ones we talking about. So ready to talk about it.
Yeah, like Chris said, it's a Monday, but we will be releasing this on a Tuesday, most likely. But Chris, you were in New York not too long ago, right?
Yeah. I was in there last week, a week and a half.
How was that?
It was good, man. The energy there in the city, totally different than when I lived there. It's a different type of energy there, but it's back alive again. I like it.
How is it? Hot out there? What's the temperature like?
Oh, man, it was ridiculous hot. It was ridiculous. So hot out there. But it was nice. Everybody was outside. I think they was going through a rainstorm before I got there. So like 3 or 4 days, it was raining back to back. But when I got there, it was all hot. So everybody was outside. It was just enjoying the city. It was a beautiful time out there. So good time.
How long are you out there for?
I was only in the city for like maybe 3 or 4 days.
Your wife out there with you?
Yeah, she was out there with me, enjoying it. That was her first time actually seeing the city, like how I would live it. She's been out there before, but we went during COVID, so it was kind of locked down, everything there to see family and things. So this time, I was able to do a lot more, show her the city, and like go on the trains and do a lot more. I did last time I went, I had a car, so I was driving all around. But it's a little different now, anyway, too, because now you have to. They got tolls all over the place. You have to pay to go in Manhattan. When I lived out there, none of that existed, so totally different city now, but still a lot of fun, a lot of things, a lot of good food. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, what y'all grub on out?
Oh man, she would love the jerk chicken. I brought her to like Flatbush, and I brought her to this place called Pepper's. She enjoyed the jerk chicken out there, man. But anywhere it was no miss. We was in Chinatown, then went to Little Italy. Everywhere it was good food all over the time, all over the place, everywhere.
That's what's up, man. The cities never sleep. I know you out there probably saw family. You do anything extra out there?
Well, like you said, it never sleeps. So we got out with a few of my friends, and we did like a 5 a.m. all night of just going to different bars, different places, hanging out, drinking, just having a good time around the city. So it was a time where the city never slept, and I haven't did that in years. So very tired. I'm still recovering right now from it, and it's already been like almost a week. So hard times.
That's what's up, man. It's been a little minute since I've been out to New York. Matter of fact, last time I was out in New York was with you all for New Year's Eve. That's crazy.
Oh, that was a long time ago. That was a good time though.
It was.
And we had we did the ball drop.
Yeah, we did the ball drop, and
good time.
That was almost 12 years ago. It was just crazy. So
time flies.
I got to get back out there, man. I like visiting New York. I don't know if I could live out there, man. Y'all New Yorkers, man. Y'all are some of the toughest in the land to live out there.
It's a different city, man. It looked nice out there. I was like, what's that edge at out here, man? It was nice. It was good. It was good out there. It's a different, like I tell everybody, it's not the same city I've seen. It's totally different place, man. It's beautiful now. It's always been beautiful, but now it's just totally different energy in there. It's an amazing place to visit. If you can, go a weekend and just enjoy it, man. It's a beautiful place, honestly.
For sure. Well, glad you had a good time out there, got back safe. But Since the last time we did a straight up boxing episode, we did kind of a hybrid last time, but it's been a lot of fights that happened in July, so we definitely had to get a show on the books. And to kick this off, let's start off with the ladies, fellas. Went down a couple weeks back ago. It was a Netflix fight. Katie Taylor defeated Amanda Serrano by majority decision and retained the WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, IBO, the ring female light welterweight titles. Serrano was scrappy. I'll give her that in the whole fight. She was willing to exchange, but it seems like she couldn't solve that Taylor puzzle, and Taylor landed the cleanest shots throughout the fight and was able to notch that victory. What were your thoughts on this one, Chris?
Well, just like you said, Taylor, she came with a different game plan. In the beginning, I was trying to figure it out. I was pretty much looking at the fight, how it was going to go. But by the fourth round, I think Taylor just changed the gear where I'm dictating this fight. This fight's going the way I want it to go. And I don't think Amanda was able to figure that out. And I just saw that from that point on, Amanda, to me, needs to get a little bit more aggressive. But every time she got aggressive, Taylor was willing to throw exchanges, but she won, to me, majority of those exchanges as she was backing out of it. Taylor, awesome job, honestly. She did a boxing lesson to me. She went in there, didn't throw a lot of punches. Like we're used to seeing these two do. She came with a different strategy. She came in there to box, and she came in there to be in the defense and to get out of harm's way. So kudos to her.
Well, what are your thoughts on this one, Steve?
I would have to agree. Serrano, a tough fighter, doesn't run from exchanges, but from what I saw, Taylor was getting the best of the exchanges, especially you see the damage on the face. And you see Taylor was pretty much clean on the face. And it seemed like Chris said, she got the better exchanges, Taylor did, and was able to engage out of it. And it seems like that every time the engagement stopped is because of Taylor got a big punch in, and that's what made her back out, to my opinion. I think another amazing fight down on the books. Serrano has a style. She doesn't run from aggressive, so much engagement, but I would feel she lost a lot of those exchanges, which showed the damage on her face and the judges. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. So this was their third fight trilogy. Usually in trilogies, you see it be a rubber match for the third fight, but Taylor won the first two as well, and they still made the third one, based off the hype where they were on that Tyson-Paul card, and everybody loved that fight. It was an action-packed fight. But Serrano has lost 3 against Taylor, and Serrano, even without these Taylor fights, she's one of the best women boxers of all time, but she just can't solve that Taylor puzzle, like I said earlier. So I don't know, what is it that Taylor is her kryptonite? Is it because she's bigger? What do you think, Chris?
I don't know. Those first 2 fights are questionable for Amanda not to lose, even though they gave it to Taylor. I don't know. Those were some questionable fights. This one, to me, wasn't a question. Amanda couldn't figure her out. So this was something I'm sure very frustrating to her because she's used to a different style of fighting with Taylor. But the first 2, that's why we had the 3, because the first 2 were very questionable. It could have went to either fighter, the first 2, but this one was almost a clear victory for Taylor. I didn't see her. Unfortunately, Amanda doesn't seem like she figured it out. And it was just watching. I was going for Amanda the whole fight, just trying to see if she could figure it out, but she just couldn't get there. Kudos to Taylor. She really came with a good game plan. She trusts her corner. Her corner was giving her great advice throughout the fight, and she believed in her corner, and they came out with victory.
Yeah, Steve, what do you think is so frustrating about Taylor's style to Serrano?
Like you said, I would have to know a little bit of their weight, what they walk around as. But maybe it was that size. I think maybe there was a little more damage on both fighters in the past fight, but it seems like she sewed something up in between this and the last one in the third fight to where you literally see the evidence. She changed up something not to get hit in the face. And it's so frustrating because maybe she's thinking about these past 2 fights and trying to win them. So she might have tried to put herself in positions to try to win points more than her last fight, which probably left her open for shots. And sometimes I think a fighter has to deal with that. Like maybe if I adjust something little, but I think in boxing, you switch up something so little, it can make you have an opening, which I think happened this 3rd fight.
Yeah, I think it might be the size difference that, people aren't giving credit to, like you mentioned a little bit, Steve, and I think you mentioned it too, Chris. Sometimes, if you look at them, if you look at the both of them, Taylor looks like always has, even in the past 3 fighters, look like the bigger fighter. And sometimes it's just a little bit too much to overcome, especially when the margin of error is so thin with people that are elite like that or boxers that are elite like that. So I don't know, where do you think the Serrano goes from here, Chris? Because she's no spring chicken. She'll be 37 this fall, and it's not too much for her to accomplish more in boxing. So what do you think?
Well, they both got some big purses.
Oh yeah, do you recall what the?
I don't remember, but I remember looking up, and I was very like, oh wow, they got paid. Okay, so I was very happy that the ladies got paid that night. They threw a good card for Netflix. Netflix did a good job that night. So right now, Amanda has nothing to put her head down from. Like, she is one of the leaders in women's boxing, made it popular, made it where people want to watch it. She was ahead for a Netflix series on boxing, like a woman. This was amazing for her. So there's nothing to put her head down. There's nothing to say bad. I think just that night was, she just got outboxed, but not in a bad way either. She still was aggressive. She still was throwing punches. It's not like she got beat up or anything like that. I just think the strategy was a little off. So I don't know. She can sit down for a little bit. I think she's done enough in boxing. I don't really know her, but again, I've been in a gym with her before, and just hearing her story and hearing how she talks, and then knowing that she went to UFC for did MMA for a little bit, and now she did boxing. She became this superstar. I mean, before she was big name, she was already a great fighter to me. Just watching her prepare for fights, just watching her, hit the bag, train with a trainer. I'm just like amazed of her, or what she was doing in the ring that time with her sister and things of that nature. So now just to see her at this big, huge stage, I don't even know where you can go from it. I think she can take this L from losing to Taylor. Is not a bad knock to her. She did 3 fights with her, but this was great for women's boxing and great for her. And I don't think she needs to fight anymore, honestly. I would go on the sunset and chill and just relax. She got I believe they got a big purse.
Yeah, I'm looking at the reports, but we never know how accurate these reports are. Saying that Amanda Serrano got $8 million and Katie Taylor got $6 million, and
yeah.
You don't see a lot of the ladies getting that big of a purse, so that's great that they're pushing the limits and getting these ladies paid. So I definitely think that's awesome. You mentioned it earlier, Chris, and I'm gonna throw this to you, Steve. So Serrano, she signed with the PFL back in 2023, and we have yet to see her debut for them. She's got 3 fights, I want to say, under her belt. 3 MMA fights. Yeah, she's got 3. Her first was a draw. She got 2 wins, but she hasn't fought in the cage since 2021. So, Steve, would you like to see her step into the PFL cage for the first time and step back into the cage in general?
I wouldn't necessarily say she has to, but like you said, she's been signed to the PFL, and she could make this decision of making boxing free promotion. I mean, when somebody does something big, Ngannou, he went to box, got his little popularity.
Yeah.
And PFL is in the top promotion for MMA, but since it's hard in the MMA community to catch fights in other, so to speak, promotions, we are able to see Ngannou and take our time to watch another promotion to see him fight. I think that same would happen for her. I think she built her popularity. 3rd fight, all 3 of engagement, and I think she able to make her popularity transition back to MMA if she would like to. But like Chris said, I mean, and more opportunity damaged, I don't think she necessarily has to go to MMA. It depends on if she wants to or she has another goal to accomplish.
Yeah, and we see in MMA, the fans and spectators, don't look at wins and losses as much, kind of like in the basically like the Florida era, basically of boxing. And we've seen somebody we'll be talking about later do it. Claressa Shield, she's had like 3 fights in the PFL and lost one of them, but nobody really, discredited her for losing that because they know she's pretty new, and she won her last one, even though it's been a year since she's been in the cage. So I think it would work out for Serrano, and I'm hearing that she's pretty solid, what they say, when she's grappling in practice. So I'd like to see her step back in the cage, but it's not like she has to do it. It'd just be, interesting, little side mission. But like you were talking about earlier, Chris, this was a big spotlight for the women. This was an all women's card. I don't know about the numbers that came back, but do you think that we continue to see events like this where the ladies kind of headline it for like Netflix or maybe even some other promotions?
Well, they're gonna have to build it up. I don't know if there's other 2 superstars like these two, where we saw 2 amazing fights prior, where it's gonna be built up where we can put a big card on them. Yet on the women, again, this was a great fight for the women throughout the night. Loved each and every fight. It was entertaining. But I would like to also see them mix in with the men and just have the women's be the main event. That's not a bad idea as well. I think that would help the sport push more women fighters out on men card instead of having them like at the middle. Let's get a main card of the women's at the main card. Let's do that and put some men under there so we can, bring more attraction to the women. I think the women are, really good fighters. I've been in a lot of gym with a lot of women fighters. They're so talented. A lot of them helped me be a great amateur because I got to spar with a lot of them as well. And I ain't gonna lie, they used to beat me up, guys. So I'm gonna be honest with you. These women used to tear me up, pick and pop me, easy, boom, boom, boom. So, I have a huge respect for women fighters. I don't look at them any slight. They're really strong. They're really fast. They're very technical. They can really last with some men like me. I was in there fighting for my life. Almost like I had to hit them hard. Like, oh, you got to back off me. Like, what's going on? They're trying to knock me out. So the respect there. I would like to see them on main cards, but I also like to see a mix. I like to see a mix. Everybody fighting together. A women's card is a little tougher right now. I think we got to get more popularity, but it's almost there. We're getting there. We got one done, so we get more.
What do you think, Steve? You think it'd be better if they have just like mixed cards as opposed to like all women's cards? Because UFC, like their mold is, they mix, you see women and men on each card, but then you also have an organization like Invicta where it's all women. So which would you like to see, Steve?
Well, definitely a mixture. And I think boxing has a unique module to where, like we always hear about, it probably would never happen. The NBA, there's only one game. They talk about payment, and boxing's so unique that allows that to happen, not through competition, but financially. And they combine each other, which means other fighters can ride off the other fighter, especially if you got great boxers like Serrano and Taylor. Maybe certain people would like to see a preference of women's fight or men's fight. But if you bring the heat as a woman, or a man, I mean, how can you lose putting them on the same card, especially an engaging fight like Serrano and Taylor? You didn't have to wait. Wasn't no, so to speak, what boxing fans call running. It was pretty combative. So I think it'll be a plus if the fighters combine as far as women and men on the same card.
Yeah, it's definitely multi-platforms for them to put the ladies on. So I guess we'll just have to see what next big fight will be put on for the ladies in the future. And like I said earlier, we still got another lady fight to talk about that happened a couple of days ago. So we'll get to that. But before we get to that, let's move on to a fight that went down on July 12th. We had Shakur Stevenson defeating William Zepeda by unanimous decision and retaining the WBC lightweight title. And Zepeda came out aggressive. I watched this fight live. He tried to bring the fight to Stevenson, and in that third round, he caught Stevenson with a nice shot that rocked Stevenson a little bit. That's probably like the hardest that I've seen Stevenson get hit, but he settled in after that and showed his defensive prowess. I thought he was on the offensive attack more than he usually was, and he was able to, he was willing to engage a lot more than what we've seen in the past. And as I said earlier, I think he's probably the best defensive fighter that we've seen since Floyd, and he showed it off in basically in the second half of the fight. What were your thoughts on this one, Chris?
Again, kid is very talented. He defensive minded. I love it. Hit but not be hit. He did get caught with some hits on this fight. He was battle tested a little bit, but he came through with a victory. Again, we all want to see him start knocking out people. Let's just call it for what it is. He's so talented. He's so good. We know how good he is. I know he won't put himself in harm's way like that, but it comes a point where we all don't want to see this go to 12 rounds. Even though we get our money's worth by seeing him go to 12 rounds, we want to see him get a little bit more aggressive because we know he got the offense. We know he can get he's very talented. We know he can get down by his mouth guard and knock these guys out. So we want to see it from him. So one day I hope he turns it over and gets to that frying lane and start fighting like that. But right now, it's just honestly, I got to be honest with you guys. It's a little boring fights. You know, it's another one to it. It's a little boring, to be honest with you. It's not exciting to go see him and see it go 12 rounds when he should be knocking these guys out.
But just like Floyd, early on in Floyd's career, we saw him get a lot of stoppages, but as he kept rising up the weight classes, like that power sometimes doesn't carry. Because if you look at Shakur, he's got stoppages in early on in his career. It's just now he's climbing up weight class. You don't think that's a part of it?
Well, the thing about Floyd is there came a point where he was coming cocky, right? So you either hated Floyd, you want to see him get knocked out. So that was what you was watching for. With these fights with Stevenson, we're watching him and we're hoping that we're still fans of him, right? I mean, the majority of people watching him are huge fans of him. I think majority of people are huge fans of Floyd, but he also had a lot of haters that wanted to see him get knocked out. We're not there for Steven to see him get knocked out yet. So that fan base hasn't came where the haters came to see him get knocked out. So I think that's the difference between Floyd fights and Stevenson fights.
I have to go back and because I know we probably talked about this fight against Stevenson and Bradley that happened back in February. Maybe we skipped over that, but he got a stop in that one. This was back in February, so all stoppages aren't made alike. So maybe might have been a retirement. I got to go back and look at that fight. But Steve, what were your thoughts on this one?
Oh,
go
sorry.
Ahead. Hold up. No, go ahead. No, go ahead, Chris. Before I get to Steve,
wasn't he supposed to fight someone else that card?
Maybe this was in Riyadh.
I believe he was supposed to fight someone else and someone got sick, right? Wasn't that the one? And then that was a sub-in fight. So that's why no one gave him credit because he was supposed to knock him out because he came in last minute. Don't quote me, but that's what I'm thinking. I think his opponent got sick.
Schofield. Looks like it was Schofield. It's supposed to be Floyd Schofield, and he got sick, they said.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
That's why no one gave him credit for that one. Really, not to hate on him. A win's a win. I'll take a win. Like I said, kid's talented. I got huge respect for him. I want to see him successful, but we want to see him start knocking these guys out. You know, I think he got the talent to do it. I think he's very talented.
Steve, what are your thoughts on this one?
I can agree with that, but I can say through the highlights, I think I enjoyed even watching the highlights because I'm a fan of Floyd and his defense and how you can just see or predict punches. And like you said, he got caught and he was doing a good job, but he got caught. But I think that locked him in to where later on those rounds, he get on the back of the ropes and you can literally see it. You know, his rear hand his Philly shell was parrying off the lead, you know, and then dipping to, you know, duck the rear or the overhand. And you can just see he was seeing it all come. And I appreciate him for that. Although I would like to see counters and then catching somebody off guard with punches they can't see and start knocking people out. I think he proved his point. And like he said in the post fight, he said, I left myself open to prove a point. Like he got touched more than he should have. But even saying that, you can look at his mentality. Is that why he won't go out for the knockout punch? Because he doesn't want to be susceptible to punches. I don't know. I think every fighter is a study, and we're just going to have to see him in adversity or a fighter that may force him to fight that way. But I can say this fight, he did a pretty good job and put his foot down on proving some point in that fight.
Yeah, I agree with both of y'all points. But looking forward in the future, Stevenson, there's only 3 title holders in this lightweight division, 135. You got Raymond Muratalla, and then you also got Tank Davis, who got arrested back in July. I think it's domestic violence dispute or something like that. Don't quote me on it. I don't want to label what happened to him, but I know he got arrested back in July, and he's supposed to do a rematch with Lamar Roach. You know, we reviewed their first fight, which was a close one. I think that one ended in the draw, didn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, draw.
Mm-hmm. And so they're supposed to rematch in August, I think mid-August, but now that he got arrested, that's been delayed. So I think, that elephant is in the room. I've asked this question on previous shows, but do y'all think we get Stevenson and Davis anytime soon, like in the next year and a half, 2 years, maybe?
I don't think we get this fight at all. I think Stevenson's just going to go past that and just go up a weight class and fight the rest of these guys.
Hold up. You think he's going to keep going up weight classes?
I think he goes to 140.
You think he's a little, I mean,
he's still young, but like at one point he's going to grow into his real man body where he don't want to go down to 135 anymore. And he'll be comfortable at 140. I think he'll be comfortable at 140. 145. He'll be fine at those 2 weight classes. I think he'll be good.
What about Tank? You don't think he could keep going up? I guess he's a little bit older than Stevenson, but
Tank thing. He's any smaller. I think 135 is where he should be, and I think he's comfortable there. No more than 140, if anything. But nah, I think Stevenson could grow. He's still young, and once he gets into that body, that real man strength that he's going to put on, and then it's going to be hard to lose that extra weight. He's going to stay at 140, 145 like the rest of them do, and, do what they do.
I mean, I've known you for almost 20 years now, Chris. Mm-hmm. By the time you were 28, I think you pretty much had your man body by the age of 28.
Well, I was still losing weight to fight in amateurs, but it was getting harder and harder to make 150. I was fighting at 152. It was getting harder and harder at 152. I was looking at 165, like, yo, what's this? How hard is it to make one? Let me see how big these 165 are, because this 35. I mean, this 152 weight, this ain't it. And then it might give you a couple pounds in the amateur, but I was like, this ain't it no more, So, the kid's living a good life. He's probably making good money. He's probably going out eating everything, Thanksgiving meals, good meals, He want to enjoy those steaks that he's made, come on. He wants to enjoy his lifestyle.
Those Thanksgiving meals hit different, right?
No, so I don't see him at 135. And a lot of kids that I know that fought him and that were amateurs with him, they're at 140 right now. So they're comfortable at 140, and they're doing a lot. Like one of his good friends, Hitman, Hitcherson. We called him Africa in the gym. He just won. He won a belt. He just had a couple fights. He's on the rise. He just beat, what's his name? What's his name? Anyway, he's cool with Tank and all of them. He fought them, and they was all fighting at 135. He's at 140 comfortable. So I could see Stevens at 140 comfortable. Not a problem.
I mean, he's 5'8". He's like wiry. Like, how much?
I mean, 5'8" ain't Canelo 5'8"?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so 5'8" don't make it. Floyd Mayweather's 5'8". Pacquiao's like 5. Well, not Pacquiao, a little smaller, 5'6" or something. But yeah, he'll be fine. I think he'll be good at 140. He'll be all right at 140. I don't have no problem with him at 140. Ain't that 5 pounds? I mean, we make it sound like it's a big deal at that weight, but these guys are dropping pounds just to get to 135. He ain't walking around like 140 right now anyway. He probably 160, to be honest with you.
I think he walks around. I mean, that's possible because I know boxers cut a lot of weight.
Yeah, he cut a lot, like 160, 150.
Definitely, probably in the 150s, but
that's a lot of weight to like 135. It's a lot.
What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What is his age? And that would make the factor of because like you said, Gervonta is Davis, and he might be done growing to where Stevenson's growing into his body still, which would kind of predict where he would project where he wants to go. And plus, fighters, they have egos, right? And I can see that which fighter thinks they need each other, and sometimes that makes fights not happen, and we end up missing out on a good fight. But I think that's what it all depends. If he decides to go up in weight and decides to transition into a bigger weight class and not look back.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I think you may be right, Chris. Like 5 pounds doesn't seem like a lot, but it's a lot of weight classes in boxing. So sometimes those last 5 pounds are hard to cut. So maybe we do see him go up, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Moving on to the next fight that went down the following week, July 19th. We had Alexander Usyk defeating Daniel Dubois by 5th round KO and retained WBA, WBC, WBO, IBO, and the ring heavyweight titles to become a 2-time undisputed champion. And he won the IBF title from Daniel Dubois. So Usyk was patient in the early rounds and chose his shots wisely. And then when he saw that opening, he took it. And halfway through the 5th round, he dropped Dubois with that right hook. And then it looked like that one just grazed him, though. I was surprised he went down by that Dubois. And then Dubois got back up and answered the count, but got finished with that left hook, and it was good night, Irene. What are your thoughts on this one, Chris?
Before the fight, they're not doing a good job in my eyes promoting this kid. Like, I feel like he's done so much for boxing. He's winning all these titles. He's willing to fight them all. He's not scared of anybody. And to me, the promotion around him, it almost feels like he's still like he's a big name, but it almost feels like he's not a big name still. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's how I feel about it still. Like, just like, wow, he's not being talked about. Like, he's the heavyweight champion, and he's still not being talked about. Like, he's the heavyweight champion of this sport. So I don't know. Maybe it's the Jake Paul, him taking over the light of boxing, and he's one of the highlights. But this guy, he's fast, he's strong, he's knocking guys out, he's beating the guys that he's supposed to beat. I don't remember his last loss. When was his last loss? EJ, I think you went mute. Yeah, I don't remember his last loss.
My bad. I don't know the last time he took a loss. He might have won, if I'm not mistaken, as far as Usyk goes. I don't want to be wrong and say that he's undefeated. I'd have to take a quick look, and
he
is undefeated, no losses.
He's given a master class every time we see him fight, and I don't think it's being talked about enough. Very impressed with him as a fighter. The more we see him fight, it's just getting better and better, and it's just we don't talk about him enough in the sport of boxing. Like, we're missing out. Like, you just named all the belts he just won, and I don't see anybody beating him either. That's the thing.
Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit more after I get Steve's thoughts on the fight. What were your thoughts on this one, Steve?
Another masterclass, and he got it done early, which what Chris said, man, that shows the prestiginess of this guy. I can agree with that, and I don't know if they promoted him better because there was a person right beside him, like Tyson Fury. It seems like after those, though, the excitement, around him has kind of disappeared, and that's a shame because he's still putting out master classes and showing dominance. And this is a undefeated fighter. I'm trying to think. What was Tyson Fury's last fight? If y'all can remind me,
it was Usyk.
It was Usyk.
Yeah.
And it seemed like there was more popularity in Tyson's losses than in Usyk's undefeatedness. That's a word, undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And maybe it's the fighter that's, fighting with him that would help him. But I think his name alone should take him there.
So, Chris, I guess you do make a good point. I never really thought about it because Usyk is still pretty popular within the boxing, realm, the boxing fans, the hardcore fan community. But I guess when you think about heavyweight champion, you think about more mainstream, appeal, I guess. When you think of that, you think of the Tysons, the Holyfields, the Lennox Lewises, and even before that, the real glory days of Ali, Foreman, Frazier. But you think it may be a little bit of the hangover, and this is maybe unfair for people to come up to this conclusion, but like a little bit of a hangover from the Klitschko era. Klitschko's were from Russia,
because
if I'm not mistaken.
Like Steve said, the Tyson Furies and Joshua had a moment. Like I don't feel like this guy had any type of moment like any of those three fighters, like Joshua, Tyson Fury, and what's his name?
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, I don't think his popularity has been as big as those three, and he's probably the better than all three of them, especially at this point. So, and he's been top dog for a long time. And I don't think they're promoting it, and I don't know why boxing is missing this opportunity, especially with a heavyweight as good as he is, not losing. This is what saved the sport. Boxing is a heavyweight sport. This is supposed to be the toughest guy, the biggest guy, the strongest guy to be in the weight class. So I don't know why they're not taking advantage of this at all. It's unfortunate for him. I think a lot of fans that don't know him, unfortunately, are missing a good fighter, and they're not probably going to see it till YouTube comes out and they see his fights on there. But they're missing some good fights with him. They box got to do a better job promoting him.
So you're right about, you had the era of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. But I was going to say Tyson Fury could, he could talk, he could sell a fight. As I'm saying, they might be kind of like the casual boxing fan might see his name, they kind of think of the Klitschko era. He's from Eastern Europe. Even though I think he's a lot more exciting and he gets finishes in that Klitschko era. And you got to think about he kind of came late to the party because a lot of the time period where those three, as far as Fury, Joshua, and Wilder were doing work, Klitschko was down there. He was the undisputed cruiserweight champion. So you think it'd be maybe a mixture of those two factors, maybe?
That is true, but where we at right now today, and we don't have a number one top guy, and he is it, and he's showing a class like he's doing, and he's knocking people out as well. I think this is a misstep by boxing to me. I think, regardless, someone needs to get in that camp and promote him the way he needs to be promoted for the sport.
But I want to say he's 37, 38. You think it might be a little bit too late for that? I think it's
never too late at the heavyweight. It's never too late in any sport. I mean, the way he's fighting, he look like he's retiring anytime soon.
Yeah, but sometimes you just hit that wall, especially when you start, getting to the 40 age. But you never know. What was it? George Foreman. He's 44 when he re-won the heavyweight belt. We got another fighter who's up there in age we'll talk about in a little bit. So you never know, but I don't know. You think it's like some magic switch where like the promoter could just start pushing them and then people can start enjoying it?
It's not, there's a button to be hit. Like they always say there's no industry button, there's nothing to be hit, but there's a button. There's a button that you can hit. And what that means is, of course, it's on the fighter. It might not be his personality, but there's a button to put him in different places, to put him to be seen. to make him be more, visible. To like you don't really even hear him on anywhere. Like yeah, good fighter, good fight. But he's a top fighter right now, man. He's on the top. Like he's knocking people out. He's giving boxing lessons out there. He's beating the best of the best. He's beat your favorite boxer's favorite boxer right now. So.
Go ahead, Chris. I mean,
I'm just saying you just got to give him love. I'm just trying to give him his flowers because I don't really see his flowers being given to him. That's all.
What do you think, Steve?
Can you repeat that? Right.
We were just talking about just maybe Usyk not getting the push that he deserves, especially with him being exciting, being skillful, getting stoppages, and all of that good stuff.
I remember you said before that you were saying talking on the mic. Promoting fights itself. He has the skills, but I think as far as boxing, but I know other promotions, that is the factor. And plus, I think that's a plus. But sometimes skill can oversee even the promotion. And I think he's had fights to show how dominant he is. Maybe that big Tyson Fury fight, which was a victory. Was it a devastating victory? I don't know if what people want to see. But like Chris said, I think there's always a button to be pressed to get you promoted. Maybe it's a certain fight like, okay, this guy's he's a problem and everybody wants to see the next dude fight him. Or he, which I can't see it, because I've seen his press conferences. I don't think we'll achieve it through talking back and forth on the mic. I think his only option is just keep on winning. People accept it. Because I've accepted it. But I think that's what it is, winning over the hearts of not only the fans, but the promoters.
Yeah, I mean, it helps when you could talk on the mic, but sometimes people just gravitate towards fighters just based on like nonverbal charisma and antics. To do an MMA reference, we see it with Maraba, Steve. So he's not the English isn't his first language, but fans seem to gravitate towards him. But yeah, so I think sometimes it's just lightning in a bottle, and sometimes the promoter can do a little bit more to promote these fighters. But we'll see as far as that front goes. But going back to his victory, and like Chris, you alluded to earlier, what's really next for him? Like,
no one's even calling him out. No one's even calling him out. Like, think about it. He got all these belts, and no one's even saying, I want the next to fight him. That's what's like, it's shocking to me. Like, everybody's leaving this alone. It's like nobody wants no smoke. Like, nobody's walking down that road to find him and try to look for him or calling him out. None of these heavyweights are saying his name, nothing. You don't hear any press conference of them calling him out or nothing. This is what I'm saying. Like, we need to put pressure on the other fighters too that are heavyweights and be like, hey, who you want to fight next? Like, this is the guy, this is the top dog right now. Why don't you want to fight him? So I think the pressure needs to be on everybody right now.
Well, I would be remiss. I hate when they do this, but they did this before this fight went down. Was it like a month or so ago? They announced the trilogy's been set for him and Fury 3 in April 2026, and Fury came out of retirement, to make this fight. It's kind of like the Serrano Taylor. Usyk won the first two, so I guess like, what's the point of really doing this third one, Chris?
I don't know. Money grab. It is a big fight still. Again, I don't know. Who else?
It's going down in Wembley too, in London. Yeah. So it's going to be like 80,000 or so, probably.
It's a big fight for him still. There's a big bag behind it. Nice purse. Again, I don't even know who else would want to fight him. Like, I don't see.
Well, you still got Joseph Parker, who's an interim champion in the division. So I mean, that's semi, notable name.
Yeah, I think Fury's probably a better fight. If they had put those two on my desk and who I want to fight, I'm probably gonna go with Fury for the third one myself.
But you think the fans garner interest. They'll sell a lot of tickets, which is a big thing. But as far as like views, as far as streaming, television, you think fans will be interested in that third fight?
Yeah, I think so. Especially with Fury. Fury sells fights. That's one thing about him. He can sell a fight. He talks. He's funny. He has people know him. He can go on TV shows. He's very he's visible. He's a visible fighter. So I think he can sell the fight himself. So I think that helps him. Actually, I think that gives him a bigger purse Fury.
Steve, what's your interest level for Fury Usyk 3?
I think it's still there, especially trying to put my feet in Tyson's shoes. In his ego, it seems like he would pick this fight than rather go because it looked like he was running, or didn't want to accomplish, his losses or get his losses back. Which, and also saying that, getting his losses back with Usyk would be the only option, I would say, without dropping his bar on popularity or anybody saying things out of the side of the neck to say, oh, you're running from Usyk, especially if you have opportunity to fight him. What if it was provided him he would fight Usyk a third time and he denied that? I think tabloids would pick that up. And since I think Fury's been used to not losing, I think this is one for him to get back, no doubt, to not to deny this fight. Plus, the money behind it, that's something that's an automatic probably. It's like, why would I go fight this dude where I already lost my undefeated record. So I think that's the thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it looks like this fight is definitely going to go down. And like you said, Fury is a very prideful person, and he'd like to have those first two fights back. And, it's now or never, because when you got one foot out of the game, that means you most likely probably should stay retired. Like, I don't really like the mindset of retiring, but sometimes it's a tactic. So, we'll see what happens with that when it moves closer to the fight. But moving right along, we had a legend return to the sport. This was also on July 19th, later that night. We had Manny Pacquiao fighting Mario Barrios into a majority draw for the WBC welterweight title. And this was a tale of volume versus power. Early on in the fight, you saw Barrios use that jab and it looked good, but when Pacquiao landed, you could tell the power was still there. It wasn't the Pacquiao old throwing like the 5-6 punch combos. He was throwing like 2-3 punch combos, but when he was landing, you could tell Barrios was feeling that. And Barrios landed 120 punches out of 658 compared to Pacquiao's 101 out of 577. So like I said, it was Barrios throwing more, but Pacquiao had the 81-75 edge and power punches landed. Two judges scored the fight even at 114, and the third judge scored it 115-113 in favor of Barrios. What were your thoughts on this one, Chris? Because I think we might have chatted about it a little bit, but I think none of us gave Pacquiao a real shot. What were your thoughts on this one?
Pacquiao looked good. Not to hate on him, he looked good. I just didn't think, the age and the size difference played a big part in what I saw in the fight. But I didn't see the other fighter do much to win the fight himself either. I think he gave Pacquiao time to be there to fight against him. I will say at this point, Pacquiao, what are you doing this for? That's my question. Like, what is this for? What was this fight for? Is this all for the heart of it? Like, I don't understand why Pacquiao's doing these type of fights. There's no need for it. He's skinny because Pacquiao gets touched. I don't want him to, keep getting hit like this. Like, he gets touched. I mean, he's an offensive fighter. We all know that his defense is offense. He got touched a lot, and it showed. His head was getting hit back here and back. But when he throws punches, they seem like they hurt. But I just don't see why Pacquiao's doing this still. Like, there's no point to this. It doesn't go on his legacy. I don't understand the point of this.
Well, it's not like it's a circus fight. He's doing it against a champion, so maybe he's doing it for the pride and to pad his legacy and to win another championship. You don't think that's a factor into it?
I mean, at this point, no, I don't. He's fine. No, he can. He should be fighting Jake Paul or something. Like he's fine, man. Like he don't need to be doing these fights. I don't see it anymore. So that's just my opinion. He's a good fighter. He showed it. He can still fight, but I just don't know why you keep putting yourself in these real like these killers right here, like these young kids that want to keep winning and things of that nature. And he did a great job. Don't get me twisted, but at this age, there's no point, Pacquiao. There's nothing to prove here for you. You're good. You already submitted in stone and legacy.
Like you said, he was getting touched some, but it's not a shot that I saw that like, ooh, shit, Pacquiao may need to, hang him up. So you think
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We don't want to see that. So get out when you can. Like, there's no point. How is Pacquiao now?
47, 48, 46. I think he's about to turn 47.
What are we doing this for, Pac?
I don't know. Maybe he's running low on cash. You think about that?
I mean, that's the only reason I can see, but I don't even see that. Like, I do believe he has it here. I believe he has it here, and he showed a great boxing showcase that he can still fight at this age, high level, throw a lot of punches, throw heavy hands. But it's almost like I like him so much. I love the way he fights. I don't want to see him go out like this. Like, yeah, Pac, it's okay. You can sit down. We're good.
What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, that fight, it was a pretty good fight considering his age, like we talked about, and how long he's been away from the ring. And I also thought about, because I had knee injuries, and I know others have different injuries, but, maybe that took him that long to get his shoulder feeling right. Because I know the recovery, as far as knee, it took about 2 years to pivot on my knee without it moving in place. And then not only that, being comfortable to, put my foot down and plant and stuff. So let alone an arm injury, dealing with his shoulder, I guess, rotator cuff. Maybe it took that amount of time for him to be comfortable, which my point is he probably was testing himself to see if he still had it. In saying that, the fight, it seemed like the other dude, he was very reserved. He either respected him a lot in his power, or he just had respect for him as a legendary fighter. But either the two, I think if he gets in there with a more up in your face fighter, and like I said, them dudes are young and hungry, I might not end too well for Pacquiao, although he showed all the good stuff in this last fight he had.
So,
well, Steve, the guy that he fought is the type of fighter that you're describing. That's why it's shocked to see this didn't go the way that you're saying it is. That's why I was kind of scared for Pacquiao too, because this is a fighter that throws a lot of punches, that's in your face, going for a knockout. And like you said, it almost seemed like he was, not to say he was reserved, but it almost seemed like he had respect for Pacquiao, was reserved, and didn't go for that knockout that I'm known for him to see, that we've seen him do multiple fights. So it was kind of weird not to see that from this fighter, to be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah, y'all kind of basically already touched on the question I was about to ask y'all. So you're ahead of the gun. I was gonna say, you think Barrios showed Pacquiao a little bit too much respect? Grew up watching Pacquiao. Pacquiao's been like pro since 96, 95. So I think he kind of might have been kind of, starstruck a little bit, Chris.
I don't know about starstruck, but I've seen other fights with this kid. It didn't look like I don't know. I'm not saying he had a tough time against Pacquiao. I mean, it was a draw, right? So it was a tough time, but it just didn't seem like his normal fights to me. I'm gonna call it for what I see, but it wasn't his normal fight. I've seen him throw a lot of punches, try to knock people out. It didn't seem like he had the gas on the pedal to knock out Pacquiao, or even put him in harm's way like that. Like, I'm not trying to diss him, but usually we see him trying to cut off the ring and try to put people in bad situation. He was touching Pacquiao a lot. Don't get me twisted. They were throwing a lot of punches, both of them, but it didn't seem like he put that extra gas in. Like, he respect them, and I don't know if Pacquiao punch power was in that that weird lefty that he got going on, really threw him off a little bit. That and this Pacquiao probably was scared to get knocked out still by Pacquiao. You don't want that to happen, but it just didn't seem like he put the gas on like he's supposed to. Too much respect to me.
Man, I mean, everybody, thinks a fight might go one way until you step in there. That's probably like the biggest fight he's been on a national level. So could have been that factor. But it looks like Pacquiao wants to run it back. So how do y'all think Pacquiao will fare in a rematch?
Probably the same outcome. I think he might lose.
Oh, damn.
Because I think the height plays a big difference. I think once, this was like more of a sparring match for the both of them. Now I think that, this young kid could sit down, use his height advantage, and put Pacquiao in certain situations. He already got punched by him, so you know what to take in. I think he'll be able to use his speed, his height. So I think Pacquiao might lose a few rounds and like lose the fight, but I don't think he'll get knocked out or nothing. I think he'll just lose a couple of rounds. That might be the difference.
Steve?
I think it may be close to the same outcome, but possibilities of, I think he got a little bit of downloads if he's going to the second fight. Maybe he feels like he download him a little bit to, have one over on him the next fight. But y'all are saying he's agreed to the second fight. I just hope he's not in any financial reason to be doing this. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a waste of time for boxing fans, but like, I would say maybe it would be cheating itself and the fans by we're not getting the fight that we want to if it's based on financial. I really hope that he's really believed in himself and testing himself because I think Pacquiao put it more on the line in that ring than Barrios had a little bit of little oomph in his step and putting a little more engaged in throwing those shots. I think he might be able to catch Pacquiao off guard in the second fight.
Yeah.
So if they do have a rematch and Pacquiao does the unthinkable and wins that welterweight championship, is that we know his legacy is already set in stone, but is that kind of like the icing on the cake, kind of erase kind of the short memory of the Marquez fight and the Floyd fight and the Horn fight? You think that's kind of like the icing on the cake if he's able to win a welterweight title at 46, 47 years old?
No, I don't think it's icing on the cake. I think the icing on the cake's already there. I don't think there's anything like, to me, those fights made him who we see today. He's a legend because of those fights. If he is taking the sport and he's doing this, I don't know if it's a financial reason. I don't know his back or what he got going on in his in his personal life. But he's a boxer. He's an entertainer. This is how he knows how to make money. So I can't take any way away from someone. This is what they know how to do. If you're a plumber, this is what you do to make your income. This is what you're gonna do is plumb, right? You're gonna do jobs, and this is what he does for a job. So I'm not taking anything away from him. I don't know what else he does for work, but I know he's a boxer and he's a great boxer at that. But I would like to see him, if he takes his belt and he wants to be serious about it and fight these young kids and start beating the young crew up. I mean, I'm with it. But at the same time, it's almost like, Pat, you don't really need to do, in my mind, he don't really need to do. He's already legendary. He's already here. His history's already stamped. I hope it's not a financial reason. I think he's good. But if he needs the more money and it's easy money for him, you're a boxer. This is what you do. So box.
Yeah, it might just be easy money for him. I'm sure he got paid probably 8 figures for this fight. And, I'm sure he's probably not strapped for cash unless he's just blowing it that we can't see behind the scenes. He does politics and he's like the biggest celebrity out there in the Philippines. So I don't know. So as long as he's not getting hurt and he wants to keep doing it, I guess I say go for it. I mean, not my decision, but we'll see if they do make that rematch. But
if you don't want to fight, I'll fight Pacquiao.
Oh yeah,
throw me in the mix. Yeah, I'll fight. Throw me in the mix. I'll take a couple of dollars. He might beat me up, but I'll take a couple of dollars from Pacquiao.
Hey, Chris throwing his hat in the ring as far as fighting Pacquiao.
On retirement quick.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can get in touch with my people and see if I can get that done.
Let me know.
But moving on to a fight that went down a couple days ago down in Detroit City. Claressa Shields defeated Lonnie Daniels by unanimous decision and retained the WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, and WBF heavyweight championship. Early off in the fight, Daniels did her best FloJo impersonation and had her running shoes on. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know we were watching the Olympic 100 meter race, but later on in the fight, she decided to trade shots with Shield, and overall, Shields delivered a dominant performance, and she showcased that speed, that power, and that ring IQ throughout the fight. Daniels was taking some pretty big shots, and she showed that she was tough, but she was unable to match that Shield output, and clearly lost that fight. Lost all rounds on two of the judges' cards, and I think she won one round on one of the judges' cards, and Shields was able to retain. What's your thoughts on this one, Chris?
Dan, it was entertaining in the beginning with the running around, but it was just outclass. We had a B-level fighter fighting an A-level fighter, and that's just what we saw. Lucky I think there was a 2-minute rounds. Thank God for that. The 3 minutes, the fight probably would have been over a lot earlier. Thank God women are 3 minutes, but yeah, that's what we saw. A versus B level, and it was at display.
Steve?
It really looks like that fight after fight with Claressa. To me, I think she's willing to do, let's say, what's the word? Orthodox things, because she is fighting lower level fighters, going in there. I would see her rush in, and maybe based off of her aggressiveness and how hard she punches, she might get that automatic respect, like, oh, I don't want none of that. And you get these women start backing up. It seems like they respect her right hand so much they don't want to get touched by it. I hope, and I don't know if how long boxing as far as women's been established in promotions, but hopefully she will get a good fighter within her career, because I really haven't seen her get tested too much in her boxing career, and I think this is another fight that shows that. I mean, it's just a pure domination on her other opponent.
So I got something to ask Chris. So she's up at heavyweight now. She did a lot of her damage back in like 168, 160 division, the middleweight, super middleweight division. She's only gotten one TKO in the past 8 years. She only got one finish in the past 8 years. So maybe is that one little knock on her? Maybe is the power not all the way there? Because she was catching her with some clean shots, and she was Daniels was able to eat a lot of those shots. So is that maybe the power not all the way there at the higher weight class for Shields?
Yeah, she's still aggressive. That's what we like to see from her. But I don't again, going up that weight class, she went up like 3-4 weight classes.
Yeah.
So, not everything comes up. We've seen that with a lot of fighters that don't come all the way up there, and they got to show us a boxing. Again, like Steve said, I haven't seen her actually box. She's been like fortunate and just being aggressive and just doing her game. But we kind of now at this point, since she's not knocking nobody out, and no one has battle tested her to be a boxer, let's see if there's skills there. I'm sure they're there. She just never been put in that position to show them. So I want to say that clear. I think the boxing skills are there. I don't think she's just trying to knock people out, but she's going for what works. And if someone hits her with a good shot and she has to get in boxing mode, I think she can showcase as a different fighter. And that's what we want to see from her as well, see if she got that in her tank. But right now, she keeps doing what she's doing. She's winning the fights. They're not even close. So even though she got no knockouts, they're still not close. Like, when's the last time she's been in a close fight?
I'm sure there may be one in there. I'd have to go back and look. So
they're not that close on the card. I think she's been winning the cards pretty convincing. So she's doing her job, what she's supposed to do.
Well, about a week or maybe two before the fight, she went on social media, her and her promoter, and she said, "We got the 15 million for you, Layla Ali." And that's one fighter that went to like 1 or 2 decisions. Everything else was knockouts in her career. But Layla Ali is 47 years old. Do you think we see the fight? And if we do, you think there will be a lot of fan interest and a lot of fanfare behind that fight being made? I'll let you kick it off, Chris.
I don't know if we see the fight.
15 million. If you Layla Ali 50, you could turn down 15 million, no?
I don't know if we see the fight. I don't know if we. I'm saying I don't know if we see the fight. I would like to see the fight. But 15 million, yeah. But what the second question was the outcome of it? Like, what would be the outcome?
No, I don't know. I think we probably all know the outcome. 47-year-old. I said, would there be a lot of fanfare and a lot of hype?
A lot of fanfare. They would have to sell it in a way. I think there's gonna. The beautiful thing, they both talk trash. That's the beautiful thing about both of these fighters. So it's going to be easy to sell. They both talk a lot of junk to each other, to everybody they fought against. So it's going to be easy to sell. I think it could be. I think the 15, if they got the 15 million there, I'm signing up to watch it. I'm looking forward to it if it's there, but I don't really see it happening. 47 years old. I don't know.
Pacquiao 46 just got in.
Yeah, but how long Layla been removed from boxing? I don't know. How long she
Her last fight was in the year of our Lord 2007. So 18 years ago. I'm math off. 18 years ago.
Years ago? And you want to call me off the couch to fight a real fight? Not even like a little like smoker fight?
Tyson Paul.
Yeah, like a little smoker fight. You want to call me out and fight a real fight? Yeah, I don't know if Layla Ali's trying to do all that.
Yes. So even though her and Manny are similar age, Manny fought 4 years ago, which is a whole lot different from 18.
But he was doing smoker fights still. Like Manny was still doing smoker fights in Asia. He was fighting random people. So.
Oh, he was doing exhibitions? I didn't even know that.
He was doing a few of those in the last couple of years. So he's not like that's why his speed was there. Everything was there. Like, but I don't know. Layla Ali, get me off the couch. I don't know. 15, you might have to push that up a little bit more from her. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What about you, Steve? You think Layla takes the fight, and what would your interest be in that?
Well, my first thoughts is all due respect and shout out to women who are that, but that's a taller, bigger woman as far as Ali. Like she wasn't no, so to speak, little girl, little woman. And I'm just thinking of I don't know how they would. I don't know the weights exactly of Layla Ali, but how would they beat in between of that? Or would they just do an exhibition fight to negate weight classes?
Well, Layla fought at 168, 5'9". Claressa's 5'8".
Yeah, she's not that bigger than Layla. She's not that bigger.
Okay.
She seems bigger than what she is, but she's not as big as we think she is.
Okay. Well, she is which can be a factor. She's a taller woman too. Like she's in
by an inch.
By an inch.
By an inch. Yeah.
So they're virtually around the same.
Yeah, she's not that big as we think. I know you was thinking. I remember I'm thinking she's like 6'2", 6 something. I'm like, no,
nah.
I forgot.
She used to just beat women up like she was that tall back in the day.
Well, saying that means the fight is possible. Like you said, pulling somebody older off the couch. I mean, how much can you win off of that? And then I think the argument came from, I forgot why they started having their beef, but something online.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think that when Layla Ali went on like a radio show, they were asking her, who would she come back to fight? And she's like, there's no competition for me out there. And she took that as disrespect. So I think that's where it stemmed from, like years ago, like 5-6 years ago or something like that.
Well, I would say people would be getting on Claressa if it was the other way around. But since I heard that, I think Ali initiated, which opened the doors to you ask what I mean, if you're starting a fight or saying all that's out the window. You're old and this, and certain people might say, why accept that fight? But if you're being called out, I mean, that's on the person that's doing the calling. And I think if Claressa wants to, she can accept that and get extra credentials. amazing woman, amazing fighter. I mean, talking about Muhammad Ali's daughter. So I mean, I think that would be one of the best fights, even though it's a 46-year-old woman. I think that might be one of the best fights of the decade for women's fighting as of right now.
Especially how high it is right now, I think this would be a good opportunity for them to pull that off. I don't think 15 million is enough to get it done, though, to be honest with you, though.
What woman fighter out there is getting more than 15 million right now?
And it's hot. Yesterday's price ain't today's price. You know what I'm saying? So women's sports right now is hot. You calling me out 15 million? I don't know I've been retired all this long. I don't know.
That's what she asked for, though. She asked for it.
Yeah,
and they went and got it for,
oh, they got it.
Layla, like you asked for it, we got it. They had a little Instagram video.
Say less. Then I would just say less. Then say less. That's all you can go.
But
15 million to get you off the couch.
But Chris, what if she was bluffing? What if she tried to like say now? Oh, I was just joking. I need more than that, and tries to like raise it up to like 20.
I mean, it looks bad now. It looks bad on these streets, to be honest with you. I don't know how much you think it'll take for you guys to get off the couch. You've been removed from the sport like that. I know years, and they just
It depends what sport. I mean, if I was
talk about boxing, we'll talk about boxing. Same predicament.
Get me off the couch for a cool $5 million. It depends.
$5 million.
Like, I want the money. Maybe even $1 million, depending on if I was down bad.
You know, back to my Pacquiao statement. She's a boxer. She has a boxing name, and I don't know how she's making 15 million. I'm not trying to disrespect her. She might have different business avenues, but 15 million for one night. I mean,
I'm sure she was on video with a promoter. Like those promoters, they got money stored away and ticket sales, and they project the ticket sales and how much the TV station's gonna give them to put on the fight. So that's probably how they got the 15 mil. I know Shields ain't going in her own pocket to get that 15.
Oh no. I'm just saying, like, but to get like where you getting 15 million to fight, like for one night, like
where else are you gonna get that from? Where else are you gonna get that from?
At 47 years old to have 15 million at 48, that doesn't seem too bad.
That's life-changing money if you manage it the right way. You could just live off the rest of your life off the interest, storing that in the bank. Well, I don't know. Maybe she's more well off than we think. Maybe she because I heard she didn't make that big of purses when she was fighting, so maybe she inherited something off of Ali's estate. I don't know. I couldn't turn down. Sometimes it's pride. Maybe she just doesn't want. Maybe she doesn't think she still got it. But you know what they say: power is the last thing to go. She used to finish all her fights, but what if she ain't fast enough? The fast twitch muscles ain't there for her to dodge the punches, Chris.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't know. 15 million might not be enough.
Yeah, I know. How much would it take you to get off the couch, Steve?
Well, you kind of put that on context. You're talking about if I'm making money, you already, lay law.
If you were if you were
I ain't got nothing as far as no million. Shit, you heard me say million. I said on accident. That's what I'll take. 500,000, 10,000 right now.
Say you like a former champion, like on the level of like a Keith Thurman or like a Timothy Bradley, and you retire kind of comfortable, but like you could always come back for a payday. How much would it take?
On that level, it all depends. She can be good, and I think there's always something to achieve out there financially or doing something. And sort of the saying, it depends on if daddy needs a new pair of shoes. What if I want to get this land for this farm? Like, this will do it. I don't have to, maybe that's her mindset. But if she's settled and for real doesn't need money for nothing, I guess you can. You can never have enough money in this world. But certain people can have that passive income. Mm-hmm. Where that just and especially passive income that keeps on adding money instead of using it to pay for things. There would be no point. And then she can take the storyline of I already proved what I've done, and she would be right in her will to even say that. But I think it'd be a missed opportunity for women's sports. I mean, like I said, the 46-year-old factor is there, but I think people would ignore that just to see this. But like I said, I would do it. 15 million, even you know, in their area of making millions of dollars. So that would be my answer. I most definitely would.
Yeah, even though Uncle Sam be taking almost half of that, still 8 million in the bank. Like,
can't go wrong with that.
You good with that. So I like to see. I mean, I want to see it, but I don't want to see Layla get embarrassed if she still don't have it. Only she knows how she still looks, because she says she's still training. She says she's never stopped training, but it's different from training and actually getting there with the bright lights on. So, like you said, Steve, they've been going back and forth for a few years, and I don't know. Of course, we'd all be watching, but I guess I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it happen. Like I said, as long as it's not one-sided, you know. We've seen the story play out before. I mean, with other older fighters, and sometimes they got embarrassed, and sometimes they're able to put up a fight. So, you know, we'll all be tuned in to see what happens with that in the future. But, fellas, it's getting late early, so we come to the end of the show. But it's not a whole lot on the docket for August now that this tank fight is up in the air. So we might not be back until sometime in September with another boxing show, but it's a big one. We got Canelo and Crawford, and I'll be out there in Vegas, so you don't have to report live in regard to that. But we'll definitely be back in August for some MMA content. So make sure to follow us on all the social media platforms. Subscribe to YouTube, follow IG, TikTok, X, Twitter, all of that. But that'll do it for us here at Haymaker Combat Sports. Until next time, be safe out there. Later.
This is Haymaker Combat Sports. Hear it here, coming straight from the source. Only with the real, they ain't here to dress it up. Sweet Science MMA, you can get it all from us. Trust, 5 stars, cause it's live.